Captain Sarah Chun felt her stomach drop as the human ship came out of faster-than-light travel. This was it. Humanity's first jump beyond their solar system. After 200 years of watching alien ships pass by Earth, humans had finally built their own FTL drive. "Jump complete, Captain," said Lieutenant Rodriguez from his station. "We are now in the Proxima system, exactly where we planned." Sarah looked out at the stars. They looked different here. Strange, but they had done it. Humans had finally joined the galaxy. "Send the message," Sarah ordered. "Let Earth know we made it." The bridge crew worked quietly. Everyone knew this was history. The first human ship to travel faster than light. The first humans to visit another star system. Sarah felt proud but also nervous. They had no idea what was waiting for them out here. That was when the alarm started screaming. "Captain!" shouted Rodriguez. 3 ships coming in fast. They're not human ships. Sarah's heart jumped. "Are they the same aliens we've seen near Earth?" "No, Captain. These ships are different, smaller, and they're moving like they want to fight." The main screen showed 3 black ships racing toward them. They had sharp edges and looked mean. These were not the peaceful traders who sometimes visited Earth's outer edge. "Pirates," said Dr. Kim from her science station. "I'm reading weapons on those ships." Sarah made her choice fast. Red alert. All hands to battle stations. The human crew moved quickly. They had trained for this. Earth's military had spent years preparing for the day humans might meet hostile aliens. Sarah hoped they would never need to fight, but she was ready. The alien ships opened fire first. Green energy beams hit the human ship's shields. The ship shook hard. "Shields down." "To 60%, called Rodriguez. "Return fire," Sarah ordered. The human ship shot back with nuclear missiles and rail guns. Old Earth weapons, but they worked. 1 alien ship exploded in bright light. The other 2 kept attacking. "Captain," said Kim, "I'm getting strange readings. There are other ships out there. Big ones. They're just watching." Sarah did not have time to think about that. Another hit shook the ship. The lights went out for a second. "Shields failing," Rodriguez reported. "Hull damage on deck 3. Sarah knew they were losing. The alien ships were faster and had better weapons. But she also knew something else. Humans did not give up. "All crew, this is the captain," she said over the ship's radio. "Prepare for boarding action. If they want our ship, they'll have to take it from us." The crew responded without fear. Sarah heard them loading weapons and setting up defenses. These humans had volunteered for this mission, knowing they might die. They were ready to fight. The alien ships stopped firing. One of them moved close to the human ship. Sarah could see it preparing to dock. "They want to take us alive," she said. "Everyone ready?" The aliens cut through the ship's hull like it was paper. Sarah heard them moving inside the ship. Strange sounds. Not quite like human footsteps. The first alien appeared on the bridge. It was tall and thin with blue skin and forearms. It carried a weapon that glowed with energy. Behind it came more aliens, all armed. "Surrender," the alien said in perfect English. "You are defeated." Sarah looked at her crew. Rodriguez held his rifle ready. Kim had a pistol in her hand. "Doctor." Williams stood behind his medical station with a shotgun. They were all ready to die fighting. "No," Sarah said simply. The alien looked confused. "You cannot win. Your ship is damaged. You are outnumbered. Surrender and live." "We don't surrender," said Rodriguez. The alien's eyes went wide. It said something in its own language to the other aliens. They seemed surprised too. "You choose." "Death?" the alien asked. "We choose to fight," Sarah replied. What happened next would change everything. The humans fought like nothing the aliens had ever seen. They did not run when shot. They did not beg for their lives. When Rodriguez was hit, he kept firing until he could not move. When Kim's position was overrun, she set off a grenade rather. Then be captured. Sarah fought until her weapon was empty, then fought with her hands. Even when the aliens finally knocked her down, she kept trying to fight. The aliens stood over the human bodies in shock. In 10,000 years of space travel, they had never seen anything like this. Most species surrendered when they could not win. These humans had fought until they all fell down, but Sarah was not dead. Neither were most of her crew. The aliens had used stun weapons, not wanting to kill such strange creatures. As Sarah woke up, she found herself in a cell on the alien ship. "Captain," came Rodriguez's voice from the next cell. "You okay?" "I'm alive," Sarah said. "Everyone check in." One by one, her crew reported in. They were prisoners, but they were alive. And they were still ready to fight. Hours later, Sarah was brought before the alien commander. He was different from the pirates. Taller, with purple skin and wise old eyes. "I am Commander Zektar of the Galactic Confederation," he said. "I have come to investigate reports of a new species." "I'm Captain Sarah Chun of Earth," Sarah replied. "Your people fought well," Zektar said. "But I do not understand. Why did you not surrender? You could not win." Sarah thought about how to explain. "Because giving up is not what humans do, but you would have lived." "What kind of life is that?" Sarah asked. "On our knees?" Zektar looked troubled. "In all my years, I have seen many species. None fight, as yours do. Most surrender when defeat is certain. They live to see another day." "Maybe that's the difference between us and them," Sarah said. "Perhaps," Zektar agreed. "But I wonder if this difference makes you strong or makes you dangerous." Sarah was taken to the Confederation's main ship. It was huge, bigger than anything humans had built. Inside, she saw aliens of many different types. All of them stared at her as she passed. "They have heard about your fight," Zektar explained. "Word travels fast in space." They reached a great hall, filled with aliens from across the galaxy. At the center sat a council of the most important alien leaders. They all looked at Sarah with a mix of curiosity and fear. "Human," said one of the council members, "we have studied your people's history, your wars, your stories, your willingness to die for ideas. We find this behavior ... disturbing." Sarah stood straight. "Our behavior is what makes us human." "Yes," said another council member. "That is exactly what worries us." The council talked among themselves in different alien languages. Sarah could not understand the words, but she could hear the fear in their voices. Finally, the head of the council spoke. "Captain Chun, your people represent something new in our galaxy. In 10,000 years of peace, we have never met a species that glorifies conflict as yours does. We must decide what to do about this. What do you mean?" Sarah asked. "We mean," said the council head, "whether humanity can be allowed to spread to the stars, or whether you must be contained for the safety of all civilized species." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. The galaxy was afraid of humanity, and that fear might get her entire species destroyed. 3 months had passed since Captain Sarah Chun and her crew were captured. During that time, the Galactic Confederation had been busy. They sent science teams to Earth. They studied human history, human movies, human books. What they found made them more afraid than ever. Sarah sat in her cell on the Confederation's main station. Through the window, she could see dozens of alien ships coming and going, but no human ships. Earth was still alone. "Captain," said Rodriguez from the next cell, "think they'll ever let us go home?" "I don't know," Sarah replied honestly. "But I know our people won't give up looking for us." She was right. Back on Earth, The human governments were demanding answers. Where was Captain Sean's ship? What had happened to the crew? The aliens who visited Earth's outer colonies would not answer these questions. Meanwhile, in the great council chambers of the Confederation, the debate about humanity raged on. "Look at this," said Council Member Veltar, holding up a datapad. "Human children play games about war. They pretend to be soldiers. They celebrate stories about heroes who die fighting." "It gets worse," added another council member. "Their entertainment shows people choosing death over surrender. They call it honor." Commander Zektar stood before the council. He had spent weeks studying human culture. "Council members, I have read their history books. Humans have a concept they call martyrdom. They believe dying for a cause makes someone a hero." The council chamber fell silent. In all their years of peace, no alien species had such ideas. "There is more," Zektar continued. "They have something called last stands. When humans cannot win, they fight anyway. They fight until every last one is dead. And other humans celebrate this behavior." Council leader Mordoon spoke slowly. "In our 10,000 years of galactic peace, we have never encountered such madness. Every civilized species knows that survival is more important than pride. But humans do not seem to understand this," said Veltar. "They would rather die than submit." The council looked at recordings from Sarah's ship. They watched humans fighting, even when they knew they could not win. They saw Rodriguez keep shooting while wounded. They saw Kim choose death over capture. "This is not normal behavior," Mordan declared. "No sane species acts this way." "The question," said Zektar, "is what we do about it." The debate went on for days. Some council members wanted to try to educate humans. Maybe they could teach humans to be more peaceful. Others thought humans were too dangerous to be allowed into the galaxy. Finally, the council made their decision. Sarah was brought before them again. This time, the great chamber was packed with aliens from across the galaxy. Everyone wanted to hear what would happen to the humans. "Captain Shun," said Morgan, "we have studied your species carefully. We have learned about your wars, your history, your culture." "And?" Sarah asked. "And we have concluded that humans are a threat to galactic peace." Sarah felt her heart sink. "A threat? We just want to explore the stars like everyone else." "That is exactly the problem," said Veltar. "Your people do not think like other species. You glorify conflict. You choose death over submission. You fight wars over ideas. Those ideas matter," Sarah said firmly. "No," said Mordan. "Survival matters. Peace matters. Your species does not understand this basic truth." Another council member stood up. "We have decided that humanity must be contained. Your species will be restricted to your home system. No human ships will be allowed to leave." "You can't do that," Sarah protested. "We can and we will," Mordan replied. "For the safety of all civilized species, humans must be quarantined." Sarah was taken back to her cell, but not before she heard the council's full plan. The Confederation would place a blockade around Earth's solar system. Any human ship that tried to leave would be turned back. If humans resisted, they would be destroyed. Back on Earth, the news hit like a bomb. The alien visitors delivered the message to every human government at once. Humanity was being imprisoned in their own solar system. They were not allowed to join the galactic community. The reaction was exactly what the aliens feared most. "They think they can cage us?" shouted Admiral Martinez at the emergency meeting of Earth's leaders. "They think we'll just accept this?" "We have to be smart about this," said President Walker. "They have better technology. More ships." "So did the British," replied Admiral Martinez. "Didn't stop us from fighting for independence." "This is different," argued Secretary Kim. "We're talking about an entire galaxy of alien species. Then we'll fight an entire galaxy, Martinez shot back. Within weeks, Earth began preparing for the unthinkable. If the aliens wanted to cage humanity, humans would show them what caged animals could do. The first test came when the human ship Unity tried to leave the solar system. It was a cargo ship carrying supplies to the human mining base on Titan. The ship's captain, Maria Santos, had volunteered for a special mission. As Unity approached the edge of the solar system, 3 alien warships appeared. "Human vessel, you are ordered to return to Earth immediately," came the alien transmission. Captain Santos keyed her radio. "This is Captain Santos of the Earthship Unity. We are leaving our solar system. Move aside. You are not permitted to leave. Return now, or we will use force." "Then use it," Santos replied. What happened next shocked the alien crews. Instead of turning back, Unity accelerated toward the alien ships. Santos had no weapons that could hurt the alien vessels, but she had something else. She had human determination. "Human ship, stop immediately." The aliens ordered. Santos answered by pushing her engines to maximum power. Unity was not a warship, but it was big and heavy. At full speed, it could do damage even to an alien vessel. The alien ships had a choice. They could destroy Unity, proving they were willing to kill humans. Or they could let it pass, proving their blockade meant nothing. They chose to destroy it. The nuclear explosion lit up space as Unity was vaporized by alien weapons. Captain Santos and her crew of 12 died instantly. But their death sent a message across the galaxy. Humans would rather die than be caged. The aliens were horrified. They had expected humans to accept the blockade once they saw it was real. Instead, humans had chosen death. "They killed themselves rather than turn back," reported the alien commander to the Confederation Council. "Surely this was just one ship," said Veltar. "One crew of madmen." The commander shook his head. "No, council member. We are detecting more human ships moving toward the system edge. Dozens of them." Over the next few months, 17 more human ships tried to break the blockade. Some were cargo vessels. Some were passenger ships full of families. Some were military ships looking for a fight. All of them were destroyed. All of them chose death over surrender. The galaxy watched in horror as humans threw themselves against the blockade like waves against rocks. Each death proved what the Confederation feared most. These humans really would rather die than submit. "They are insane," declared Mordan after the 20th ship was destroyed. "No," said Zektar quietly. "They are exactly what we thought they were. The question is, what do we do about a species that will not be caged?" The answer came from an unexpected source. On the outer rim of the galaxy, an alien species called the Krell had been watching the human situation with interest. Unlike the peaceful species of the Confederation, the Krell remembered war. They remembered fighting for survival. The Krell ambassador arrived at the Confederation station unannounced. "Council members," he said, "I bring a warning. You think you are containing a threat, but you are creating something much worse." "What do you mean?" asked Mordan. "You are teaching humans that the galaxy is their enemy. You are forcing them to become what you fear most, warriors with nothing left to lose." The council chamber fell silent. Every human ship you destroy makes the survivors more determined. Every family you kill creates 10 more enemies. You are not containing humans. You are forging them into weapons. Zektar stepped forward. "What would you have us do? Allow them to spread their madness across the galaxy?" The Krell ambassador's eyes were cold. "I would have you remember that sometimes the things we fear most are exactly what we need when real danger comes. And real danger is coming, whether you believe it or not." But the Confederation would not listen. They had made their decision. Humanity would remain caged, no matter the cost. They had no idea that somewhere in the darkness between stars, human ships were already moving. Ships that had left Earth before the blockade. Ships full of humans who now knew that the galaxy saw them as monsters. And if the galaxy wanted monsters, humanity would give them exactly that. 2 years had passed since the blockade began. The Galactic Confederation thought the human problem was under control. No human ships had broken through in months. Earth's communications had gone quiet. The Council believed humanity had finally accepted their fate. They were very wrong. Captain Sarah Chan sat in her cell, counting the days. 730. That was how long she had been a prisoner. But today felt different. Today, her guard seemed nervous. Something wrong? Sarah asked the blue-skinned alien who brought her food. The guard looked around nervously. There are rumors, he whispered. Strange reports from the outer systems. What kind of reports? Ships appearing from nowhere. Attacks on cargo vessels. Some say they are human ships, but that is impossible. All humans are trapped in your system. Sarah smiled for the first time in months. Are they? The guard hurried away, but Sarah had heard enough. Somehow, some humans had escaped before the blockade. And now they were making their presence known. What? The Confederation did not know was that before the first alien ships arrived at Earth, several human vessels had already left the solar system. Research ships, colony ships, even a few military vessels on secret missions. When the blockade went up, these ships found themselves cut off from home with no way back. At first, they tried to contact the Confederation. They offered to negotiate. They wanted to help their trapped families and friends. The aliens shot at them instead. That was when scattered humanity learned a hard truth. The galaxy saw them as monsters. So they decided to become exactly that. Commander David Park sat in the bridge of the human ship Defiance. It was not much to look at. A converted mining vessel with weapons bolted on wherever they would fit. But it was his ship, and it was free. Target acquired, reported his weapons officer, Lieutenant Hayes. Confederation cargo ship, lightly defended. Any human slaves on board? Park asked. Negative. Just alien crew and supplies for the blockade. Fleet, Park nodded. Then they are valid targets. All weapons fire. The cargo ship exploded in brilliant light. Another blow against the aliens who had caged humanity. Park felt no guilt. These aliens were feeding the fleet that kept his people. Prisoners, jump us out of here, he ordered, before their patrols arrive. Defiance vanished into faster-than-light travel, leaving only wreckage behind. Across the galaxy, similar attacks were happening. Human ships appeared from nowhere, struck hard, and disappeared before help could arrive. They hit cargo vessels, mining stations, communication relays. Anything that helped the Confederation. The aliens called them terrorists. The humans called themselves freedom fighters. The Confederation Council met in emergency session. The attacks are getting worse, reported Admiral Kexron. In the last month, we have lost 43 ships and 17 stations. How many humans are out there? Demanded Council Leader Morden. We estimate between 5,000 and 10,000 scattered across different ships. Kexron replied. But they are coordinating somehow. These are not random attacks. Commander Ziktar studied the reports. They are targeting our supply lines. Smart strategy. They know they cannot fight our main fleets, so they are trying to strangle our operations. They are savages, spat Council Member Veltar. Attacking cargo ships and civilians. Are they? Asked Zektar quietly. We started this by caging their entire species. The council chamber erupted in angry voices. Some aliens wanted to hunt down every human ship. Others worried that more violence would only make things worse. Enough, said Mordon. We need a final solution to the human problem. Those words sent a chill through the chamber. Everyone knew what he meant. "You are suggesting genocide," said Zektar. "I am suggesting we end this threat once and for all," Mordan replied. "We have tried containment. It has failed. The humans refuse to accept peace." "Because you gave them no choice," Zektar shot back. "The choice was simple. Accept our authority or face the consequences." They chose consequences. The debate raged for hours. In the end, the council voted. 57 species voted yes. 23 voted no. 8 abstained. The Purge fleet would be assembled. News of the council's decision spread quickly. Within weeks, ships from across the galaxy began gathering at the staging area. 50,000 warships from dozens of worlds. The largest military force ever assembled in galactic history. Their mission was simple: destroy Earth, hunt down every human ship, end the human threat forever. But humans had friends now. The Krell ambassador had not been idle. He had contacted other species who remembered what war was like. Species who understood that sometimes you had to fight for survival. The warning reached human ships through secret channels. The galaxy was coming to kill them all. Commander Park received the message while raiding a fuel depot. His heart went cold as he read the words. All human vessels. Purge fleet assembling. 50,000 ships. Target: Earth. Timeline: 6 months. Park looked at his crew. 23 humans on a converted mining ship against 50,000 alien warships. "Well," said Lieutenant Hayes, "those are pretty bad odds." "Yeah," Park agreed. "The aliens don't stand a chance." Hayes stared at him. "Sir?" Park stood up. "Hayes, how many human ships do we estimate are still free?" "Maybe 40 or 50 scattered." "Groups?" "A few thousand people total." "And how many humans are trapped on Earth?" 12 billion, Park nodded. "Then we have 12 billion reasons to make this hurt." The free human ships began to gather. Not to flee, but to fight. They knew they could not stop 50,000 warships. But they could make the aliens pay a price they would never forget. Dr. Lisa Chon worked frantically in the lab aboard the human ship Prometheus. She was Sarah Chon's sister, trapped in space when the blockade went up. Now she was humanity's best hope for survival. "The quantum resonance cascade is ready," she reported to Captain Williams. "But you understand what this means?" Williams nodded grimly. "I understand. How many ships will we need?" 20 should be enough. "But Captain, the people on those ships... will die," Williams finished. "I know. But 12 billion people on Earth will live." It was a desperate plan. 20 human ships would activate experimental quantum drives all at once. The cascade effect would create a temporary hole in space-time, big enough for Earth's remaining ships to escape through. The volunteers lined up immediately. Every free human wanted to be part of the mission. They had to turn people away. "Remember," Williams told the volunteer crews, "when you activate the cascade, you will have maybe 10 minutes before your ships are destroyed. Use that time to hurt the enemy as much as possible." The volunteers nodded. They understood. This was not just a rescue mission. It was humanity's last chance to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of. Meanwhile, on Earth, Admiral Martinez watched the alien fleet gathering through long-range telescopes. 50,000 ships. Even Earth's rebuilt defenses could not stop them all. "Sir," said his aide, "we're receiving a transmission from the free ships." The message was simple. "Earth Control, this is Commander Park. Operation Diaspora begins in 72 hours. Be ready." Martinez did not know what Operation Diaspora was, but he trusted the free humans. If they had a plan, Earth would be ready. As the Purge fleet moved toward Earth, humanity prepared for its final stand. They had no illusions about winning, but they would make sure the galaxy remembered this day forever. In her cell, Sarah Chun felt the station shake as ships launched. Her guard was gone. Everyone was focused on the coming battle. She smiled as she looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, her people were preparing to do the impossible, to fight an entire galaxy and make them regret it. "Come on, then," she whispered to the darkness. "Let's show them what monsters really look like." The stage was set. 50,000 alien ships against a few thousand free humans and 12 billion trapped on Earth. The galaxy expected a quick victory. They were about to learn why humans were feared. The Purge fleet arrived at Earth's solar system like a storm of metal and death. 50,000 ships from across the galaxy, all coming to end humanity forever. Admiral Kexron stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching Earth grow larger. On the screen, "All ships report ready," his aide announced. "The human homeworld is defenseless." Kexron nodded. "Begin the bombardment. End this madness once and for all." But as the alien ships moved into position, alarms began screaming across the fleet. "Admiral," shouted the sensor operator. "Ships decloaking all around us. Hundreds of them." Kexron spun to look at the tactical display. Human ships were appearing everywhere, materializing out of empty space like ghosts. They had been hiding using some kind of stealth technology the aliens had never seen before. "Impossible," Kexron breathed. "How many ships do they have?" "Still counting, sir. At least 800 vessels." On Earth, Admiral Martinez watched. From his command center, as humanity's hidden fleet revealed itself. For 3 years, Earth shipyards had worked in secret, building ships in asteroid fields, hiding them in the outer system, waiting for this moment. "All ships," Martinez broadcast. "This is Earth Control. Operation Last Stand is now active. Show them what humans can do." The battle began with humans doing something no alien species had ever attempted. Instead of forming neat battle lines, human ships scattered in all directions. They moved like a swarm of angry wasps, fast and unpredictable. The alien formation, designed for fighting organized fleets, found itself under attack from every angle. Human ships dove between the massive alien vessels, firing missiles and railgun rounds at point-blank range. "They are fighting like mad creatures," Kexron's aide reported. "No formation, no strategy." "There is a strategy," Kexron said grimly. "Chaos. They are making it impossible for us to coordinate." He was right. Human pilots flew their ships like they were extensions of their own bodies. They took risks that made alien crews sick with fear. They rammed their small ships into alien weapons platforms. They set off nuclear bombs inside their own vessels to take out nearby enemies. Captain Torres piloted her fighter toward a massive alien battleship. Her ship was badly damaged, engines failing, but she had one missile left. "This is for Captain Santos," she whispered, thinking of the cargo ship captain who died trying to break the blockade. Torres crashed her fighter into the alien ship's bridge. The explosion took out the entire command section. The battleship, suddenly without leadership, drifted helplessly as human ships swarmed over it. Across the battlefield, similar scenes played out. Humans threw themselves at the enemy with a fury that shocked the galaxy. They did not fight to win. They fought to make their deaths count. But this was not humanity's real plan. Deep in space, far from the main battle, Commander Park led 20 volunteer ships toward their target. The alien supply depot that fed the Purge fleet. It was heavily defended, but not against what the humans were about to do. "All ships, prepare for quantum cascade." Park ordered. Dr. Lisa Chun's voice came over the radio from her lab ship. "Remember, once we start this, there is no going back. The cascade will destroy all our ships." "Understood," Park replied. "All crews, It has been an honor serving with you. The 20 ships moved into formation around the supply depot. Inside their hulls, experimental quantum drives began to charge. The technology was untested, dangerous, and almost certainly fatal to anyone nearby. Cascade initiation in 10 seconds. Dr. Chun announced. Park thought about his family back on Earth, his wife, his children. They would probably die today. But maybe, just maybe, enough humans would escape to carry on the fight. Initiation now. 20 quantum drives activated at once. The fabric of space-time twisted and screamed. Reality bent around the human ships as impossible energies tore holes in the universe itself. The supply depot and its defenders vanished in a ball of twisted space. The 20 human ships lasted exactly 8 minutes before the quantum forces ripped them apart. But those 8 minutes were enough. The cascade effect spread outward like ripples in a pond. When it reached the main battle near Earth, something incredible happened. The space around the planet began to fold in on itself. What is happening? Demanded Admiral Kexron. His science officer stared at his instruments in horror. The humans have created a quantum tunnel, a passage through space-time itself. On Earth, Admiral Martinez received the signal he had been waiting for. Operation Diaspora is active, came Dr. Chun's final transmission before our ship was destroyed. The tunnel is open. You have maybe 1 hour before it closes. Martinez activated the emergency broadcast. All human ships, all colonies, all stations. This is Earth control. The tunnel is open. Execute Diaspora now. What happened next would be talked about in alien histories for 1,000 years. From every hidden base, every secret colony, every asteroid mine, human ships emerged. Not to fight, but to run. They flew toward the quantum tunnel that the 20 volunteer ships had died to create. Cargo ships full of families. Military vessels, loaded with soldiers. Science ships carrying humanity's knowledge. Even small shuttles packed with refugees. The alien fleet tried to stop them, but they were scattered and confused from the chaotic battle. Human ships slipped past them like water through fingers. Stop them, Kexron ordered. They must not escape. But it was too late. Thousands of human ships poured through the quantum tunnel and scattered across the galaxy. To hidden worlds, to distant systems, to places the aliens would never find them. Sarah Chun watched from her cell as the battle raged around the station. She could see human ships fighting and dying, but she could also see them escaping. Her people would survive. Door to her cell suddenly opened. Commander Ziktar stood there, looking older and more tired than she had ever seen him. Come, he said quietly. The station is being evacuated. Why are you helping me? Sarah asked. Because I think we have made a terrible mistake, Ziktar replied. We thought we were stopping monsters. Instead, we created them. As they moved through the chaos of the evacuating station, Ziktar explained what was happening. Your people have done something we thought impossible. They have taken our greatest victory and turned it into our greatest defeat. Yes, Earth will fall, but humanity will spread across the galaxy like seeds on the wind. Sarah nodded. That was always the plan. You cannot cage an idea, and freedom is an idea. I begin to understand that now, Ziktar said sadly. They reached an escape pod just as the station's hull began to crack. The quantum cascade was affecting everything in the system. Space itself was becoming unstable. As their pod flew away from the dying station, Sarah looked back at Earth. The planet was burning now, hit by alien weapons. 12 billion humans were dying. But their sacrifice had meaning. How many escaped? She asked. We estimate 50 million humans made it through the tunnel, Ziktar replied. Scattered across 10,000 light years. Sarah smiled through her tears. And humanity survives. And every one of those 50 million people will remember what you did to Earth. Zektar was quiet for a long moment. What happens now? Now? Sarah looked out at the stars where human ships had vanished into the darkness. Now you learn what you have really created. You wanted to stop humanity from spreading across the galaxy. Instead, you have guaranteed that we will. The quantum tunnel collapsed with a flash of impossible light. Earth was gone, consumed by fire and quantum energy. The Purge fleet had won a complete victory, but across the galaxy, in hidden places the aliens could not imagine, human ships were landing. Families were setting up new homes. Soldiers were planning revenge. Scientists were working on new weapons. Confederation had succeeded in destroying humanity's home. But they had also created something far more dangerous than a single world of humans. They had created a scattered, angry, resourceful enemy that could strike anywhere and disappear into the darkness between stars. In the years that followed, the galaxy would learn a hard truth. Humans were not most dangerous when they were united and strong. They were most dangerous when they had nothing left to lose. The hunt for humanity was about to begin. But this time, the humans would be the hunters. 300 years had passed since Earth burned. The Galactic Confederation thought the human problem was finally solved. The scattered survivors would die out in a few generations. The galaxy could return to peace. They were wrong again. Admiral Zara Okafor stood on the bridge of the human ship Vengeance, watching the alien space station through the darkness. It was a mining operation on the edge of nowhere, exactly the kind of target her people had learned to hit. Ghost Squadron in position, came the voice of Captain Reynolds over the radio. Ready to begin the dance. Zara smiled at the old human. Phrase, the dance. That was what they called their attack snow. A deadly ballet performed in the darkness between stars. Begin the dance, she ordered. 20 human ships materialized around the station like phantoms. They had learned much in 3 centuries of hiding. Their ships were faster, quieter, deadlier than anything their ancestors had built. And their crews were something the galaxy had never seen before. Born in the darkness between stars, raised. On stories of Earth's burning, these humans had never known peace. They were the children of refugees, the grandchildren of survivors. They had spent their entire lives preparing for one thing, making the galaxy pay. The alien station never had a chance. Within minutes, it was nothing but wreckage and bodies. Floating in space, clean sweep, reported Reynolds. No survivors, no distress calls. Excellent, Zara replied. Ghost Squadron, fade back into the dark. The human ships vanished as quickly as they had appeared, leaving no trace except the destruction behind them. On the Confederation capital world, Emergency Council Leader Mordan read the latest reports. With growing horror. In the past month alone, 47 stations had been attacked. The pattern was always the same. Human ships appearing from nowhere, striking hard, disappearing completely. How many humans are out there now? He demanded. Intelligence Director Veltar consulted his datapad. We estimate between 2 and 3 million scattered across the galaxy. They have established hidden colonies on at least 400 worlds. How? Is that possible? We have been hunting them for 3 centuries. They are very good at hiding, Veltar admitted. And they have help. That was the part that worried the Confederation most. Humans had not just survived in exile. They had recruited allies, alien species who remembered what freedom meant. Worlds that were tired of Confederation control. The humans offered these species something the Confederation never could. The promise that resistance was possible. That even the mighty could be brought down. Captain Sarah Chun was long dead, but her daughter Maria had inherited her mother's fire. She sat in a secret meeting on the planet Kilos, surrounded by alien rebels who had never thought they would work with humans. The Confederation grows weaker every year, Maria told the gathered aliens. Their fleets are spread thin. Their people are afraid this is our chance. A Krell warrior named Thecalon leaned forward. What do you propose, human? Operation Homecoming, Maria replied. We take back Earth. The room fell silent. Earth had been a dead world for 3 centuries. The Confederation maintained a small garrison there, but mostly it was just ruins and radiation. Why Earth? Asked a Zalane diplomat. It is just a dead rock now. Maria's eyes burned with inherited fury. Because it is our dead rock. And because, when we take it back, every human in the galaxy will know we are done hiding. The plan was audacious, even by human standards. Gather every hidden ship, every secret colony, every ally who was willing to fight. Strike at Earth in a coordinated assault that would announce humanity's return to the galaxy. But Maria had learned from her mother's stories. This would not be a desperate last stand. This would be a declaration of war. News of the coming assault spread through hidden channels across the galaxy. On remote mining worlds, human families packed their belongings. In secret military bases, soldiers cleaned their weapons. On hidden research stations, scientists prepared their deadliest weapons. The galaxy was about to remember why humans were feared. Commander Zektar was old now, one of the few aliens who remembered the original human war. He stood in the Confederation's military headquarters, trying to convince his superiors that they were in terrible danger. You do not understand, he told the assembled admirals. These are not the same humans we fought 3 centuries ago. We have created something far worse. How can they be worse? Demanded Admiral Kexron, son of the admiral who had destroyed Earth. There are fewer of them now. They have no homeworld, no central government. That is exactly what makes them dangerous, Zektar replied. They have no single point of failure, no capital to capture, no leader to kill. They are like a virus that has spread through the galaxy. And viruses are very hard to cure. The admirals did not listen. They saw only scattered raiders hitting remote targets. They did not understand that these raids were preparing for something much larger. The first sign that something was wrong came when human attacks suddenly stopped. For 2 weeks, not a single raid was reported anywhere in the galaxy. They have finally given up, declared Council Leader Mordan. The human threat is over. He was wrong. The humans had not given up. They had just finished preparing. The assault on Earth began at exactly the same time across 12 different approach vectors. 3,000 human ships, the largest fleet humanity had assembled since Earth's destruction, converged on their dead homeworld. The Confederation garrison consisted of 50 ships and a small orbital station. They never had a chance. This is Admiral Chun to all Confederation forces. Maria broadcast on all frequencies. You have exactly 1 hour to evacuate our world. After that, anything still in orbit becomes a target. The Confederation commander tried to call for reinforcements, but his communications were being jammed. The humans had thought of everything. Within the hour, every alien ship and station had fled Earth's orbit. The humans landed on their poisoned homeworld and began the long work of making it live again. But the real message was not in taking Earth. The real message was in what happened next. Across the galaxy, human sleeper cells activated simultaneously. Space stations exploded. Military bases went dark. Trade routes became death traps. In a single day, the humans struck at over 2,000 targets. The Confederation reeled under the coordinated assault. This was not random terrorism. This was total war, fought by an enemy that was everywhere and nowhere. How many of them are there? Demanded Mordan as reports flooded in. We do not know, Veltar replied. They could be hiding on any world, in any system. They look like dozens of different alien species now. Generations of intermarriage have made them nearly impossible to identify. That was humanity's greatest weapon. They no longer looked like the humans of Earth. 3 centuries of mixing with alien refugees had created a new kind of human. One that could hide in plain sight anywhere in the galaxy. But as the war raged, something unexpected happened. The darkness between stars began to move. Deep space sensors detected massive objects approaching from outside the galaxy. Ships unlike anything any species had ever seen. Ancient, powerful, and completely hostile, the Devourers had arrived. For millions of years, they had slept in the void between galaxies. Now something had awakened them. They came to consume, to destroy, to turn all life into fuel for their dark purposes. The first worlds to die were on the galaxy's outer rim. Entire systems vanished without a trace. A few ships that escaped brought tales of horror beyond imagination. "They are unstoppable," reported a traumatized Confederation admiral. "Our weapons do nothing. Our shields mean nothing. They devour everything." Faced with extinction, old enemies found themselves forced to work together. The Confederation, in desperation, reached out to the human rebels. The meeting took place on a neutral world. Commander Zektar, now ancient but still sharp, sat across from Maria Chun. Between them lay the fate of the galaxy. "We need your help," Zektar said simply. "The species that burned our world asks for our help?" Maria replied coldly. "Yes, because if the Devourers win, there will be no worlds left to burn." Maria was quiet for a long moment. Finally, she spoke. "My mother once told me something. She said you cannot cage an idea. Freedom is an idea, but so is survival." What are you saying? I am saying that humans fight for what we believe in. We believed in freedom, so we fought you. Now we believe in survival. Our survival and yours. The alliance was forged in necessity and sealed in blood. Human ships joined Confederation fleets. Human tactics combined with alien technology. Former enemies became brothers in arms against a threat that would devour them all. The war against the Devourers raged for 50 years. It was humanity that provided the key to victory. Not through superior weapons or technology, but through their willingness to sacrifice everything for others. When the final Devourer ship threatened the galaxy's core worlds, it was Captain David Chun, Maria's son, who led the last desperate charge. 100 human ships, packed with quantum bombs, flew directly into the alien vessel's heart. The explosion lit up the galaxy and sent the surviving Devourers fleeing back to the dark between stars. In the aftermath, as the galaxy counted its dead and began to rebuild, the question arose: what to do about humanity? "They saved us all," Zektar told the new council. "Without their sacrifice, we would all be dead." "But they are still dangerous," argued some council members.